The gun came up fast, shiny and careless, pointed straight at the man, who hadn't moved an inch, and for half a second, the entire park seemed to forget how to breathe. Leaves froze in mid-fall. Footsteps stopped and the laughing young man holding the weapon had no idea that the calm figure in front of him was already calculating angles, distance, wind, and outcome with deadly precision. Nobody screamed. Nobody ran because the man in uniform didn't react like a victim. He stood tall, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady. The kind of stillness that didn't come from fear, but from absolute control. Years of combat had trained him for chaos far worse than this. Explosions, ambushes, gunfire in the dark, and now here he was, in a quiet autumn park facing a spoiled Mafia boss's son who thought a gold-plated pistol made him powerful. Behind the man, a young female veterinarian froze in place, one hand gripping the leash of her German shepherd so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she stared at the gun, then at the soldier standing between her and it. She had been walking the dog after a long shift at the clinic, still wearing her scrubs, thinking only about getting home. Violence was the last thing on her mind. Before we begin, don't forget to hit like if you're enjoying the video and haven't subscribed yet. Now's a great time. It's a small click that makes a big difference for us. Let us know your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Your feedback means a lot. Back to the story. The German shepherd's body stiffened, ears snapping forward, eyes locked on the weapon. A low growl vibrated through his chest. Not loud, not reckless, but warning. Pure, controlled, protective. The kind of growl that meant one wrong move and I will act. The young man with the gun laughed loud and mocking, enjoying the attention. You don't scare me, he said, waving the pistol casually as if it were a toy. You military guys think you own the world. He had no idea who he was talking to. The Navy SEAL didn't argue. He didn't threaten. He didn't even raise his voice. His eyes flicked, once to the vet, then to the dog, then back to the gun. In that single glance, he promised protection without saying a word. His body shifted slightly, barely noticeable, placing himself more directly between danger and the innocent lives behind him. The vet swallowed hard, her breath shallow. She had seen injured animals, broken bones, blood, pain. But this was different. This was the kind of fear that made your legs feel weak and your thoughts scatter. Still, she trusted the man in front of her without knowing why. Something about his presence felt solid, unbreakable, like standing behind a wall made of steel. Around them, people began backing away slowly, sensing that something terrible was about to happen. Phones came out, hands shaking, recording what they thought would be another senseless act of violence. The Mafia's son stepped closer, the barrel of the gun now only inches from the SEAL's chest. What, you scared? He sneered. Say something. The SEAL finally spoke. His voice was calm, low, and steady, cutting through the tension like a blade. Put the gun down, he said, not as a request but as a fact. The young man smirked, amused by the confidence. He had power, money, connections. No one ever told him no. No one ever stood their ground except this man. What he didn't know, what no one there knew yet, was that he had just made the worst mistake of his life. Because the man he was threatening wasn't just protecting a vet and her dog. He was a Navy SEAL trained to end threats before they ever finished making them. And the next few seconds would change everything. The smirk vanished first. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't sudden. But something in the SEAL's eyes changed, and the Mafia boss's son felt it before he understood it. The air around them grew heavy, like the calm right before a storm explodes. The laughter died in his throat, replaced by confusion, then irritation, then a flicker of doubt he had never felt before in his life. "You think I'm joking?" the young man snapped, tightening his grip on the gun. That was the moment he crossed the invisible line. The SEAL moved. To the untrained eye, it looked impossible. One blink, one breath, and the distance between them vanished. The gun never fired. A sharp crack echoed through the park as the weapon was twisted free, hitting the pavement and skidding away. The Mafia son screamed, not in anger, but in pure shock as his body slammed to the ground with surgical force. Before anyone could react, the SEAL had him pinned, knee pressed firmly into his chest, forearm locking his arm behind his back. It wasn't rage. It wasn't brutality. It was clean, controlled, and final. "Do not move," the SEAL said, quietly. His voice so calm it was terrifying. The park erupted into chaos. People gasped. Someone screamed. Phones shook violently as the scene shifted from threat to total domination in seconds. The Mafia's son writhed, trying to break free, but every movement only earned a sharper pressure, a reminder that resistance was useless. The veterinarian stood frozen, her tears streaming down her face, her free hand covering her mouth. Her legs felt like they might give out, but the German shepherd stood strong beside her, leash taut, body forward, eyes never leaving the man on the ground. The growl returned deeper now, not aggressive, but victorious. Sirens wailed in the distance. The SEAL didn't look up. He didn't celebrate. He didn't humiliate the man beneath him. He simply held him there, protecting everyone around him until flashing lights filled the path and police officers rushed in. When they recognized the uniform, everything shifted again. "Yes, sir. We've got it. Thank you." The Mafia's son was hauled to his feet, handcuffed, screaming threats, family names, promises of revenge, but no one listened. Power meant nothing now. Cameras captured his downfall from every angle. As the officers finished securing the scene, one of them turned to the SEAL. "You okay?" He nodded once. "They are," he said, glancing back at the vet and her dog. That was when she finally found her voice. "Thank you," she whispered, her words trembling, raw with emotion. "We saved us." The SEAL knelt down in front of the German shepherd, instead letting the dog sniff his hand. "Good dog," he said softly. "You were ready." The vet smiled through her tears, her heart finally slowing. In that moment, she realized something profound. Strength wasn't loud and real. Protection didn't announce itself. It simply stood firm when evil showed its face. As the seal walked away, blending back into the crowd, most people would remember the gun, the takedown, the drama. But the vet would remember something else. The quiet courage of a man who didn't need to prove who he was. And the lesson a mafia boss's son learned too late. Some guardians walk among us unseen until the moment they are needed most. This story touched millions of hearts. If it touched yours, let us know with a like, comment yes, and subscribe or follow for more amazing stories like